All right, guys. So here we are, 5.1. We're already in unit 5.1 for the honors. And then we are at unit 4.1 for the math 7. Now, these are very important concepts in this unit because what we're going to be doing is we're going to write and evaluate algebraic expressions. What that means is we're going to write algebraic expressions depending on the type of scenario that goes on. The essential question is how can algebraic expressions be used to represent and solve problems? Now you're going to see how this is very much scenario oriented. Okay, people earning money, people paying for things. Okay, if you can work out an equation for this, then you can figure this out. So I'm going to go over a couple of examples. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. Here's example 2. So what they're saying here is they give you a certain amount of information. With a scooter, it's $15.50 per hour. Okay, and they're saying that they're going to use the scooter for 3.5 hours. Okay, for the watercraft that they're using, so they must be on vacation, right? They're going to do $22.80 an hour, but they're going to use it for 1 3/4 hours. Now, what this does is we know that we need to multiply that hourly rate by the amount of hours that they're using it. So here's an algebraic expression that maybe the owner would use so that they could figure out how much each customer needs to pay them. So in other words, they would multiply $15.50 by the amount of hours, and they signify that variable because it would vary per customer with S for scooter. Okay. They would take the $22.80, that's the hourly rate for the watercraft, and they would use that variable because, like I said, it's going to vary per customer with W. Okay. Variable means that it does vary. Okay. Now, for this specific customer, we have amounts. Now, this is where we really go through and evaluate the problem. How would be the easiest way to solve this? When I look at this and evaluate it, I think, okay, they're not asking for a specific amount, so I'm going to do it into decimals. These hours are easily put into decimals. Okay. In other words, this would be 3.5. Remember, every fraction is a division problem. This is your whole number. Then I would divide 1 by 2 to get 0.5. So when I rewrite this equation, it looks like this. Here's my hourly rate for the scooter, $50.50. And I'm going to multiply it, see the parentheses, by 3.5 for 3.5 hours. But I also need to add in the watercraft. That is $22.80 multiplied by, and this is 1.75 hours. Okay, so doing the mathematical order of operations, I have to do my multiplication first before I can add. So when I multiply this out, what I actually get is $54.25. So that's how much it costs for the scooter alone. Okay, $54.25. Then I'm going to add that so I can give them a total bill. So I multiply these two out and I get $39.90. So I go through, this is for the watercraft, this is for the scooter. I add these together and I give them a total bill of $94.15. That would be the total bill. So guys, this is why we use algebra, because if the person who owns a business develops this equation, then no matter how many hours a customer has a scooter or watercraft, they can figure out really quickly how much that customer owes them. Okay. All right. So, like I said, any questions, ask me more when you come in. Okay. Now, here's another scenario. Now, this is important for you if you work this type of job. Okay. This is an example 3. Now, here's the scenario. This person earns $8.75 an hour. They also get a gas allowance of $3.50 a day. So they must be driving somewhere. And the company says, you know what? No matter how much driving you do, we'll give you $3.50. What they want to know is if this person goes through and works a 5.5 hour workday, how much are they going to earn throughout that day? So what we have to think of is we're getting paid $8.75 an hour. That's a rate, just like we've done in the past lessons, right? That's your rate. And then they're telling us that it's 5.5 hours. Now, again, I'm going to turn this into a decimal, 5.5, 5.5 hours for that workday. So what I do is I take the hourly rate of $8.75 and I multiply it by the 5.5. But then I have this extra, right? This right here would actually be proportional, okay? That means it's the same amount every hour, no matter how many hours they work, okay? But what makes it not proportional is just the simple fact that we then need to go through and add in that $3.50. Now, again, with this equation, I need to do the multiplication before I do the addition, okay? So when I go through and I multiply, this is what's interesting, and we're going to round it, okay? So we're going to actually go through and do the multiplication, and here I get 48.125. But we have to remember, guys, that this is actually money. And we don't go out 3 places behind the decimal. You don't get 12.5 cents. So what I have to do is actually go through and round this. And what it actually is $48.13. So once we round that, we get it into money, right? But then I still need to add the $3.50. So I add the $3.50 to that. Let me forget the decimal. And the total amount that this person would earn is $51.63. Guys, this is so important that you're able to figure out your own check, because if you don't get paid the right amount, I've had people pay not enough. I've had people overpay. The hard thing is when you get overpaid, you may think, oh, bonus, or you're like, why did I get more than I usually got? Then you end up going through and spending that money. And then on the next check, your employer goes, hey, we overpaid you. And they take the money out, and then you don't have enough money to pay your bills. So this is something that everybody needs to know. So you can calculate out how much you should be getting paid before you get your check. So whenever you get your deposit or your check, you can look at it, see if it matches, then redo the math to see if it's correct. Okay, guys? All right. So that's everything for 5.1 for honors and 4.1 for math 7. Let me know if you have any questions.